So we are here. We're back. We're going to talk about something very long awaited, very anticipated that we've been looking forward to for quite some time now. And that is an In Sync reunion. That's,
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. An in-sync
that's
reunion
exactly
with
what it is.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Because you
Yeah,
never know.
exactly.
They
A
obviously
Exactly.
were the
celebration
main
of
fans.
Disney IP.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Deadpool and Wolverine was released or was released in theaters this last weekend, and we've all seen it at least once.
I've
Um
seen it twice.
Chuku's seen
You
it twice.
have?
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna see it my second time tomorrow. But yeah, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to discuss. There was a lot in this movie. We've been waiting for it for a long time. We had the return of the incredible Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's been the main guy for Wolverine for our entire lives since the 2001 when that first X-Men movie came out for the last 24 years. So it's been a wild ride, but it's great. Yeah, let's go. It's great seeing him again. It's great seeing him again in this role. Presumably for the last time, but this is like the last time again. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. How do you guys feel about Deadpool and Wolverine now that you've seen it? Let's talk about like positives, any negative, or let's just do general impressions for this first go around. So yeah, let's see. How do you guys feel?
Overall, it was very entertaining. I was actually surprised how heartfelt the movie was. I feel like the
Mhm.
movie was a lot less funnier than what I would expect and more heartfelt. But I guess, Wolverine being part of it would be the thing. Just like any Deadpool movie, there's a lot of unexpected stuff. I mean, there are some weak beats in the movie. Definitely, like the villain was weak, and there was a lot of just conveniences and stuff like that, which I guess you can expect from a Deadpool movie. But some of the inconsistencies, I had like questions, especially watching it a second time. Like, wait, how does this work? Whatever. But besides all that, I really think the best parts of the movies were the performances. I think the performances hold strong, and there are moments where I was just like, this is beautiful, this was really talented, this is very artistic. And I think the strongest point of the movie again being Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman being things that even if you don't even know or have no interest in the Marvel universe, you can just enjoy just seeing them perform. So overall, I would say, in my opinion, it's been the best movie we've gotten since Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I slightly think it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but not to the point where it's like No Way Home. I think No Way Home is still in the up there. It's not that far, it's not that great, but at least it's a little bit better than Guardians of the Galaxy 3, in my opinion.
Crystal, you have eyes of disagreement.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think it's even close to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm not saying
Yay.
I don't think it's comparable. I think they're very different films, and I hope
Okay.
we can like not just compare those films but compare all the Deadpool films also, because I have opinions about that too. But I loved personally Guardians of the Galaxy 3 a lot. And this is coming from someone who like went into that film like not super excited to whatever. I was like, oh, we're gonna say goodbye to the Guardians. I didn't care much, but it was so good. It made me care. It made me like not really realize how much I would miss something until it was gone. And I was getting real choked up about Rocket Raccoon, which was like annoying. Like I don't want to get like effed up over this guy, but I was. And I can't say there was anything in Deadpool and Wolverine that elicited that response for me. So that is like kind of the biggest indicator of, I guess, for me, I guess my enjoyment of the two films, like which one I think is better. But not to say that it wasn't good. Like I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. I will say I don't need to see it again right now. Maybe like in a bit. But
I feel like I just
yeah,
wanna
it
see
was
one
fun.
scene again.
Yeah, it was fun. We'll go into it. I love the action. The fight scenes were great. There were just some sacrifices, I think, since Deadpool 2. Like some of the style, I think, was lost. Just the way that it looked, I think there were some things that just were not as good as Deadpool 2. But I mean, overall, it was enjoyable. I just don't think it can be compared to like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and definitely not to No Way Home. What the heck?
I mean, I said it's not close to No Way Home. That's what I was saying. I never said it was at No Way Home's level. I just say it's a little below in my eyes.
I
But
mean, a little below is close. It's
I mean, I guess it
close. You
depends what
said
we're
that.
defining.
But and I'm
I
glad you
mean,
brought it up because some people are saying like it is No Way Home for Deadpool or something like that, like saying it explicitly, and I don't agree with that either. But Scott, I'll let you speak. I feel like we can get into my gripes later.
I think it's a pretty different movie in comparison as well. I actually think I enjoy Guardians 3 more as well, but Deadpool itself is so different. It's like a movie filled with a lot of fun, and it's primarily just for fun, you know? And I think they did a really good job saying goodbye to a lot of like the Fox franchises.
Yeah.
I thought that aspect of it I didn't expect it at all, because I went into this movie just watching like one trailer, and I didn't really have much expectations for it. But because of all the surprises, it was just really, really fun, and I enjoyed that aspect.
Is that the part you want to go back and see? Is the part during the credits?
No. The part that I want to see. This is a spoiler review, so the part I want to see again is when Captain America shows up. Captain America.
Yeah.
And then he says "Flame on," and to me that scene, that one scene, like honestly made the movie for me. I just love that scene.
I actually agree with that one. I think that was like the funniest bit to me, and there was a lot of funny bits, so that's saying something.
Yeah, that was the funniest scene, in my opinion.
Yeah, there were a lot of great moments in the film. I personally think that I really enjoyed the movie. I had a lot of fun with it. It's hard to what you guys said. It's hard to compare this movie with other like top-notch Marvel movies and even like just Marvel property movies. When we're talking about emotional impact and stuff like that, like Logan had the emotional gut punch that carried with that film that I think makes it like stand out amongst most other superhero films. Same with Guardians 3. There's like the emotional impact there, and especially with No Way Home. But I think that when you talk about a character like Deadpool, it's hard to I'm gonna say it's like it is difficult to kind of create that same level of emotional impact, and just because like the type of character he's an irreverent like he makes jokes, and like that's his, like he's kind of a joke character, but like, and so with that being said, the purpose of his character is to make you laugh, and I think that this movie did a great job in expressing the purpose of Deadpool and the character of Deadpool. Like starting off with like, oh, how are we gonna honor the legacy of Logan? It's like, yeah, we're not going to. We're just gonna do our own thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, that is a Deadpool thing to kind of do. So yeah, I really appreciated that. And yeah, I don't want to spend too much time comparing to other Marvel movies, but like one of the things that that comes to mind is how Thor was treated under Taika Waititi. It was I didn't like Ragnarok. I know most people did, but then everybody else, like nobody likes whatever the fourth one was called, and
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, nobody likes
Love or Thunder.
And it's because Thor was kind of treated in a way like a character like Deadpool should have been treated, or is usually treated, but Thor is not that kind of character. Like Thor is not he's not really an irreverent character who is like usually made to be a joke, but Deadpool can more so fit into that lane. And so when Thor was being written in that way under Taika Waititi, it definitely fell flat. And is in a way that like I couldn't really appreciate it. But when you can say that they're like arguably Deadpool is written in a similar way, but because of who the character of Deadpool is, it makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I think that's just like how I felt about this generally. No,
for sure. I think it's like directed and created in the style of like that's like appropriate for Deadpool, and it's hard to like stay consistent film to film for any Marvel movie because different directors, different style every time, and it's hard to like stamp down a formula that works for like every single character throughout the MCU, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, at least as far as like the tone and the dialogue, like that was very much like Deadpool's signature, and that was like very good. That was like a strong suit for sure. I do think like outside of Deadpool and Wolverine, the real scene stealers were like seriously like all the cameos. Like all the other people were like, for me, like better than, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine's dynamic sometimes, or most of the time in my opinion. And that's fine. Like,
In
you
what
know,
way? I'm curious, what
just
way?
more memorable and just like, you know, I don't know, like I'm gonna remember like more of like the dialogue and the lines from the cameos than like really anything Wade or Logan said to each other for sure.
I agree with Crystal. I feel like the moments made this movie, and those moments were mostly like filled with the cameos. I really like Gambit as well. He was such a fun guy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Gambit was great with like the Cajun accent. So yeah, I guess we can like kind of run down through the movie. So I would say let's start with like the dynamic between Deadpool and Logan. I really appreciated it. I thought that the dynamic between Logan and Deadpool, I thought that they did a great job. The performances again were fantastic, especially Hugh Jackman. He's such a great actor.
Exactly.
I think that he was able to convey, like he was able to like just go right back into the character of Wolverine, but also there was enough of a difference between the character that we've known and this character that it's like, okay, you can kind of tell that this is a little bit of a slightly different variation of the character, one that has gone through more disappointment and like has a little bit more weight and heaviness.
But I feel like
the one that we know
about that, like the fact that he's a different version of Wolverine and not one of the ones we know, makes it hard, in my opinion, to like connect as much.
It's also a little bit of a cop out because it's like, oh, you know, he was so different, he was so unexpected as a Wolverine. It's like, oh, well, it's a different Wolverine. I feel like it's like a little bit of an excuse for, it's a little contrived, you know.
Wait, yeah, go for it.
Okay, I was gonna say I kind of, to some degree, I kind of like that they did use a different Wolverine, because number one, like it says, it kind of, obviously the way Logan ends, to have that Wolverine, it kind of is like, okay, what do we need to develop him for? Like he's already been developed. But number two, what I liked, and I guess this is where I guess the enjoyment kind of goes to your attachment towards the character of Wolverine. Because for me, I think what made me attached to him is like understanding the character of Wolverine, how he is, and then like, what if Wolverine, you know, we know he has these bad habits of like being careless, being like, I can't control my emotions. What if he just,
and
that
being
one
a loner.
time, like being the loner, what's to say one time he just, you know,
because
he was
of
that careless to the
like,
point where he lets everybody gets destroyed. And then now he's just kind of like, well, screw it, I'm going to destroy everyone, and feels guilty and remorse from that. I think for me, that, like, to me, seeing that performance of him, I was able, and I guess because my attachment to Wolverine and to the character, I was able to really felt that from him. And in the way Hugh Jackman did it, which was really good with his performance, because it really made it more, and that's where I felt like the movie got more serious and heartfelt, that they really did a good job with that. I felt like that itself really was nailed. To me, it was nailed good enough. Now, of course, it could have been layered.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
It is very superficial, I will admit that. Like, even if we logically think about it, it's like, oh, this Wolverine just became, he's the worst Wolverine because, you know, he just let people die, and he just says, oh, now my friends are dead, now I gotta kill everyone. Like, I get to some degree, like, that is sort of superficial, but I guess, depending on your emotional attachment to Wolverine, I can feel where it's like, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, but
so
I
for
think
me, that was a very interesting take on it.
I think the issue for me is just that I didn't see any of it. I don't feel any of that connection.
Exactly. Thank you.
It was just like, it kind of just felt like it out of nowhere.
I mean, just to build off that and echo that, like, it's a lot to set up and establish in one film, let alone just the first quarter of a film, you know? And like, obviously not everything is revealed all at once. Like, we have to actually talk to like Charles Xavier's sister for the big reveal, and, you know, and show like the actual cause of his trauma. And it's just, I wished we had like a little more time with it. It would have been cool like if it was played out over the course of like a series or something. It's like, but if it's gonna be treated like this, it's like we could have covered this in like an episode of What If or something, Like it's just like it's a lot at once, and it's like because we get all these great like cameos and all these other things, like some of those good juicy story bits is sacrificed, I think, and that's why it's like those moments that are great with the cameos are almost necessary to like elevate the film, really, because it's like those are the real juicy bits in this one. That's like the real drive for me to like see it again, is like for those little cameo dialogue lines.
Yeah. I just think we would have felt more connected with the Wolverine character had we seen some of it at least. It just felt like it was just a little bit too convenient in terms of the dialogue, and then us trying to like get that connection just from that dialogue.
It's hard, man. That much exposition, and like even that was a joke. That much exposition is hard to pull off, dude.
I felt did a good job.
Yeah, no, I Wolverine is my favorite like comic book character of all time. So like it didn't have to do much for me to feel connected.
Exactly. Well, he's not my favorite too, but I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just because I've been watching more X-Men. It's like, okay, I can.
Yeah, no, it's like, bro, like we're back here with Hugh Jackman. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
I'm ready for whatever they have. Let's go.
For sure. I just think
something. Sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, to play off something that you said earlier, OC, about Deadpool and Wolverine, and like, because we're talking about the dynamic between them. Definitely, I agree that it is like there really was not much strong. Like logically, there was some. You can say they have a strong emotional beat in the sense that they're both killers trying to become heroes, but they have a problem with like they have a problem with like killing to some degree. But there was no like strong emotional character interaction where they can both, I mean, besides you could say them holding hands at the end with Madonna, which again, it's for silliness. There's no really like where they can like come together, right? Or they kind of like, okay, let's settle our differences in a way that actually was like resolving, right? So I think that was weaker, but at the same time, the parallels, I think the strong part with them is their parallels, right? Because it's like at the end they both have strong heart, right? You could see that Wade, he just wants to take care of the people he loves. You can see that Wolverine, he's still like hurt from the people he loves. So that's something that I did appreciate, that you can kind of see the parallels between them two within the movie, and that like plays along in the dynamic. So that's something I will give to them with the two, why I appreciate those two as a character going on.
Yeah,
for sure. No one can take away Deadpool from Ryan Reynolds. No one can take away Wolverine from Hugh Jackman. And it's just like like that's they're always gonna be like the apex of like, people that can't be separated from their character because they just do it so perfectly and so good. I don't know, it's like, and maybe like one of my gripes is like, I wish we could spend a little more time with them, because it's like there's like definitely like a lot more material there that they can explore. But again, just to like roundabout back to Scott's, it's like I enjoy a little bit more of like a show don't tell kind of storytelling, and like no one can fault Deadpool for yapping because he's like a certified yapper, but I feel like there's a balance they could have achieved a little bit better in this storytelling, like where they could give the fans what they want, but also have like strong emotional beats, build urgency with new characters, if it was just done a little better, Right. Sorry to be so general about it, but
I think my gripe, I agree with you on paper. Like both of the characters, there's a lot to look into them, but again, it's like sort of you having to form these ideas on your own versus the movie creating it for you. And I feel like one of the things that I had issues with, because I rewatched Deadpool 1 and 2, and I felt like there was it felt like there were stakes, like there was good stakes, like the kid from movie number 2, the connection
Cable and his whole future.
Yeah, exactly. And Cable. There's some emotional.
And that movie looked good too. Like some of the shots and cinematography there's some stuff in there that I don't think I saw in this Deadpool film.
Yeah, and then Deadpool 1, there was rescuing Vanessa, which is like a very personal thing. And I know for this one, it's supposed to be like, oh, he's trying to save his universe and his family and all that stuff. But honestly, I didn't feel that connected with any of the characters during this film. It felt like they were just kind of there. Like, and he even broke up with Vanessa. It didn't feel like he was as connected compared to the first two movies.
It felt less Deadpool-y, maybe.
Yeah, I felt less Deadpool-y.
I'm with you. I love Deadpool 1 and 2. Like, I was like definitely a huge Deadpool fan back then. I still am. I still like Deadpool a lot. Like, I was like with the production of Deadpool 1 for the longest. Like, I read the leaked script online like years and years and years before they even started production, like years before they started it, because it had leaked online like forever ago. I remember just reading the script. I was like getting emotional from it. I'm like, dang, like this hits. And like, you know, we're seeing a whole feature length film, and to like not have that, like those feelings again, is a little bit of like a letdown. But I mean, it's fine. Like, I know we're gonna get more Deadpool content. It's like very obvious that we're like not finished with them.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. I mean, I like, again, it was still a super fun ride. It's just, to me, between the three films, like, in my opinion, like kind of the weakest.
Yeah, I also think had they kept him with Vanessa, and maybe if he had like a kid or something, that would have made it more like he would have had more stakes and more emotion behind that, especially if the kid's like a newborn or something. I don't know, just something that makes me feel like he actually cares more about those people, because like it didn't seem like he did in the beginning of the film. It just seemed like he was just lost, and
it was did Colossus even say anything in this film?
Not much.
Was he there? Negasonic Teenage Warhead. You were there during the whole fight scene with all the Deadpools. Probably in the area. They just like.
No, they were there.
They were there in the beginning of the movie before
the beginning and the end.
Yeah, and the end. But like, were they actually there? It didn't feel like the real characters. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely agreed. They could have spent more time with the characters.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it's like, and I agree. Like the stakes in the other two Deadpools are a lot more higher, or at least ironically, logically, this one's technically more higher.
Yeah.
But like you felt more for the stakes.
Exactly, you felt more.
But it's interesting because Deadpool 2 for me was the one where it had the most. I feel like it had the most comedy. And this one seemed more like there's comedy, of course. It's obviously Deadpool, but I felt, and maybe it's because the Wolverine stuff was playing with it, but this one felt more heartfelt for me because of the Wolverine stuff. So it's kind of interesting.
I think
that even though the stakes were more,
like
more
even
emotionally,
even just Wolverine sitting with X-23, like I was like, oh man,
yeah,
like,
there's a lot of more like heart, like really.
I think
you're cashing in on your nostalgia,
but like. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Deadpool 2 has a lot of parallels with like Logan, because that's for me, because there were stakes, because Deadpool was trying to like keep the kid from getting killed, but also from being the worst version of himself. Like Deadpool is low-key the worst version of himself. So it's like we kind of saw this story before of like Deadpool like trying to be good and do something good, you know, in the first two films already. And then, so it just seems like he's bringing it back up, but the extra thing is that he broke up with Vanessa.
I think this time the point of this movie is like he's trying to like actually like there's an approval of him being good now, because it's like he's trying to be with the Avengers and trying to have like a great hero significance. I don't think the other ones it was more of that. I think it was just like more
like, better, because then the Avengers are not involved.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a great thing, obviously. But the point, I think, with this time, it's like that's like his main goal is like, okay, you know what, I want to like. It's almost like he wants the validation of the hero now. It's like this is a initial thing. Okay. It's not just I do it like out of like necessity. It's like yes, I am that hero. Like,
I guess there should have been more cameos.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what was everyone's? Yeah, let's.
I wouldn't be complaining, actually.
I do want to just point one thing out. I feel like the people who came from it on the Deadpool side, liked it a little less compared to the people who came from it on the Wolverine side.
Oh.
Maybe.
I guess that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
Probably.
I can do that.
At least
can see that. That's probably
from
what
this group
The
right
fighting
here.
continues.
That's probably the reason.
What was everyone's okay, so how did we feel about the
Johnny Storm.
the cameos? That okay, I don't know
That
about
was
like
great.
did that surprise you guys? I felt like I
Yes,
saw that
that
coming
surprised
from a
me.
That
mile
surprised
away.
me.
I felt like no, I
That
mean
surprised me.
I felt like I was like, okay, this obviously isn't Captain America. Like I was like I thought
I
that
100% bought into the
clear.
fact that it was Captain America.
Me too.
Up
Really?
for it.
I was
It was like a
surprised.
variant of Captain America.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I was like, no, this is Johnny. Like he was like the way that they were like hiding his suit. I'm like, well, you wouldn't be going through all that trouble to hide a Captain America suit.
But-
like,
Well, what if the reveal was like it was Hydra or some BS? I don't know.
it could.
But I guess you're very smart, OC. That's pretty cool that you.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
I
thank you.
wouldn't-
No. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. I was waiting for him to say "flame on." Like I was expecting it. I was like, no, say it. Say it. But
Well,
but
here's
yeah,
the thing.
uh-huh.
Nobody has thought about that Fantastic Four movie in a long time.
Exactly.
I mean,
You're
we've
wrong
been-
because they're making the new one.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's actually quite on, like it's very much on like the internet's like radar right now is Fantastic Four with like the casting,
Interesting.
the recent casting,
Yeah.
and then I guess we'll talk a little bit more about like some of the Comic-Con news that came out this weekend, as well. But yeah, Fantastic Four has definitely been on a lot of people's minds. So
Interesting.
I was going into it not necessarily expecting anything. Like I wasn't expecting to
Yeah.
see Chris Evans, but then when I saw Chris Evans, I'm like, okay,
That's Johnny Storm. That was
That's
your
That's
first
Captain
thought.
America.
that was my no.
It's kinda
Honestly,
crazy.
okay.
I was
that
No,
was my
see,
first thought.
I'm
I'm like,
curious.
okay, they're doing a Johnny Storm. Like,
I'm curious. Were you able to predict the ending that he actually said those stuff and Deadpool wasn't making
nah,
it
that
up?
was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but I appreciated that.
Yeah,
And he
I'm
even
super
like
curious.
played it the same. Like the way that like Johnny Storm in those like Fantastic Four movies is kind of like a little eccentric and is a little bit like,
Exactly,
you know, he
exactly.
played
I
it the
loved
same way. Like
I
he didn't
loved it
play
too.
Captain America. He played Johnny Storm from 20 years ago. It was like, oh wow.
Dang. Yo,
Yeah.
let us know in the comments below if you guessed it like OC. Because honestly,
Yeah, can we put a poll down there
Yeah,
somehow?
I'm so
like, oh,
curious.
guessed it, not guessed it, and see which
Yeah.
one of y'all are smart. I'm dumb.
yeah, and there's no way. I just feel like everyone's mind has been on like Chris Evans is Captain America, and like
Exactly.
you see that.
Mm.
Yeah, and I got excited for it too. I was like, "Yo, they got Captain America. What is he gonna do?" And then he says "Flame on," and I'm just like, "Oh, I think I'm one of the only few people that bursted out laughing because it was just so funny."
Really?
Yeah.
In my theater, it was really reactive because I watched at Universal City Walk. Everyone loved that bit. Like I was like almost out of my seat. I was going crazy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That part was really good.
Yeah, that was great. And then obviously the other big pop was Blade, Wesley Snipes
Exactly.
coming
Oh my
out.
God.
Yeah, that got my theater crazy. Yeah.
His
Exactly.
first line killed me.
Exactly. You think I'm
It just came out of left field, like everything. But, yeah, it's crazy seeing him kind of take on that persona again and it be like perfectly preserved, like how we had remembered it from all of his Blade films. And it's cool too because it's like for fans of Blade, remember like, oh, like, you know, Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3, so it's
Yeah,
like what a
yeah.
like a blast from the past, like seeing
Like
him
a
in
weird
here.
reconnect.
Yeah, and then Jennifer Garner as Elektra was really cool. It was funny, the little dig at Ben Affleck for sure. For
That's what I was
me,
wondering. I was like, dang it.
yeah.
I feel like they should have gone with a different character for that like slot.
We'll go into I have thoughts
Yeah.
about this too. For me, I really for long suffering like Marvel fans, I feel like the casting of Gambit and associating the fan cast with Channing Tatum is like it's just like part of the whole like history of like being a Marvel fan. It's like such a it's such a like mythical like thing, you know, and like finally seeing him in the suit was sick. His powers are great. He's funny. They went, you know, there could have been like a balance between him being like the perfect Gambit and a joke, and they kind of like went full joke on it, which is fun and great. Like he was actually he was the funniest, honestly, part of the film for me. But a part of me that's like a Gambit fan too is like,
A little disappointed.
yeah, they should have gave him red eyes. He should have sounded more like the cartoon version. You know. And so like the fact that he went like full like 22 Jump Street, my name Jeff, like, you know, like he was just giving like 22 Jump Street Channing Tatum with like the worst Cajun accent I've ever heard, but purposely. And like it was fun. Like I loved it. But there is also a version
Even just like
of
thinking
him.
back to this, yeah.
There's a version of him in my mind that is perfect and immaculate that could have been in the film that wasn't.
Yeah.
And I would have loved that maybe a little more, or at least a balanced version. What we got was like 100% joke. I'll take it. But yeah, I was really hyped to see him.
I don't think the door's closed on a Gambit, Channing Tatum Gambit, like moving
I
forward.
hope not. He's just
considering
old.
He's not too old. I think Gambit could be like 40, 50.
They're like students.
That's
well,
true.
It depends on when we meet them.
Yeah,
There's
it
nothing
depends.
established, and yeah, we'll see.
It depends. But yeah, no, Channing Tatum did a great job. And then bringing back Daphne Keane as X-23 was a great choice in my opinion.
She just like looks like comic book Laura Kinney. It's crazy. Like she looks like she's straight from a panel of a comic book. It's really wild that she's such perfect.
And I love that they kept
even now.
her like colorful sunnies. I love that they kept that aspect.
That was
yeah. But also okay, so Elektra. I definitely
yeah, let's get into it, please.
Yeah, let's get into it. I love Jennifer Garner. I love
You do?
I mean she's great. Yeah, as an actress. Yeah, why not? You know, but like those movies, the Daredevil movies, I have like a love-hate relationship with them. Like obviously I watched them as a young child, and so I have like positive memories with them. But you watch them now and they're not as good. Blah 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 blah. And then the Elektra movie is even worse than the original Daredevil movie. So it's like, and Daredevil wasn't even in the Elektra movie. So it's like,
She had a movie? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she had a movie.
Yeah, it should have been Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider.
Oh my god!
Oh,
okay,
my
yes.
god!
I just
didn't
thought
even
of
think
that
about
off the
that.
cuff right now.
That
would
would have been.
I actually
I mean,
was
come
thinking
on,
about
actually-
that at one point.
That would
At
have
one point, I
been.
was thinking, are we going to see Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider?
That would have been fantastic.
Oh, you actually
that
thought
would've
of
been
that?
So good.
Yes, I was
That would've
thinking
been
at one point.
so
I was like, oh,
perfect.
who's going to come? Is it Nicolas Cage? I was like, thank you.
That would have been
But
perfect.
no,
but like
was
Elektra
Elektra.
is a street level hero. Like she's not really like she's out here with Gambit. Are they fighting side by side with each other? I think
You
they
heard
could've-
what Deadpool said. The budget. They didn't have the budget for all these other people. It was just like,
Nicolas
this is the budget to handle.
Cage.
I guess.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is having a
Nicolas-
great couple
Yeah,
of years
Nicolas
so
Cage
far.
would have been more expensive than Jennifer Garner, probably.
I think so too.
But hey, but she functioned fine in the role. It was good. Any other notable cameos?
Are we not going to talk about the Henry Cavill one?
Oh, that was
the Cavill.
Yeah, I feel like
Wolverine.
OC must have been really happy to see Henry Cavill as Wolverine. Like,
I was pretty happy to see Henry Cavill.
yeah. Henry Cavill is Wolverine. I love that. Like, part of me hopes that they never do the
You're
short,
just on your way out.
stocky Wolverine. I hope that they
Yes!
always keep Wolverine 6 foot plus.
Did you
And,
guys
like,
notice he did the Mission
the
Impossible?
punch? Yeah.
That was
He
so
did like
fun.
the for the claws to come out. Oh yeah.
I can't believe Henry Cavill has his own lore, like as a man. That's why he should be Wolverine.
Right. Oh man, and then the whole like dig at DC dropping
that
him.
was
We'll
good.
treat you right.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Man. But yeah, that was a really cool cameo. And then we got our like short Wolverine cameo as well. That was pretty funny. Played for the jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been more.
Pyro was actually like a really cool addition to the film. We saw him in the trailers, so that was not necessarily a surprise cameo, but it was surprising how like involved his character was in the plot of the story. I wasn't really expecting that. I thought Yeah, I thought he would be in like in one scene, but he was actually a pretty consistent character. So it was cool to see Pyro. I wish I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like seeing Pyro kind of primed me for Bobby to come in and like to see Iceman. But so I was low key waiting for Iceman to show up as well. But I guess that would have been a little too much Fox X-Men for this movie.
I was about to say that's another like not serious gripe, but it's like yeah, there should have been more cameos. There should have been more X-Men, but that's not like what I really mean. Like I just want like more X-Men content. I want like
Yeah.
another X-Men film because it's crazy how many like kind of lesser known like not household name actors that were representing like X-Men characters in here because there was like Lady Deathstrike, Psylocke.
That was a different actress, right? That was a different
Yeah,
actress.
these are all
Yeah.
100% like newcomers. And Azazel,
How about
which is
Juggernaut?
crazy because Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
And so I was like, oh man, like I want to see. Now I want to see like Nightcrawler. I want to see Mystique. I want to see everyone that like I miss so much from like the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And it's we got like little bits and pieces here and there, and like it kind of leaves you wanting more. Like, yeah, I'm unsatisfied.
definitely
But like
does.
it also made up the film, right? It like made the film because it's like you want to go back and like see those little moments again.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
I
want to see
definitely
one
get that.
moment again. Flame on.
Flame on.
Blame on,
The
that's
bloopers from the Fox X-Men films. The BTSs.
Yeah, going to the credits with the whole Fox goodbye to the Fox
that was
universe. Was
That
nice.
was a very, very interesting way of how they did that. That they went to a what's it called? They went to that world where it was basically just like they literally have the Fox Century inside that world.
Yeah.
So I wonder if OC saw that and he must have made the clue of okay, it's got to be Johnny Storm. Maybe OC saw that.
Was that the giveaway? Yeah, what did you
But,
guys feel about like that whole, I guess, situation, the plot plus the villain?
Okay, so here's I guess this is like one of my biggest gripes with this movie. Was that I felt like besides the villain being weak, I felt like they overextended it. Like it's like I feel like that moment where she had with Logan, where Logan decides not to kill her, and then it's kind of her realizing, okay, you're trained by my brother. I feel like that should have ended her thing. But later on, she just comes in, she's like,
brought
oh,
her
let me
back.
get the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was just like, why did you have to add that? It was just like, it was just that's something that I felt was a really like it just felt like
Yeah.
they overextended. Just
It was
to
a
have
weird
long moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
beat.
weird. And like it sucks because Emma Corrin, the actress, I think she's a really strong performer. I actually like that character. Like she was kind of like an unhinged, like morally, like truly just like chaotic evil person. And then to have, kind of the weird like story beats and like to follow her like through that is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and then another annoying thing, and this is something I noticed watching the second time, is like, what was stopping her from just going to the TEA and trying to take over? Like, she has like the ability to use Doctor Strange's thing the whole time. Like, she literally shows, oh yeah, I could just use Doctor Strange's thing.
They literally said that she just liked it out there, and that's why she stayed.
I don't know.
Exactly.
This is so ridiculous, especially because she's smart. At one point, she might be like, "Oh, I could just go over here," and it's just
no. That was her home. She had no motivation until she figured out that they were trying to kill her, and then it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna come out there and get you now."
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of something I didn't
Yeah,
really like.
it was kind of just like a
Yeah.
throwaway villain, Loki.
Or a villain, for sure. But sorry, something else you said, Crystal, besides the villain.
No, I mean just general plot, like. But you kind of answered my question. I feel like we're kind of all on the same page about that.
And even general plot stuff, it's like so there's so much confusions I had. Like for starters, it's like so in the beginning of the movie, he's trying to what's it called? He's trying to audition for the Avengers, and then I'm just confused. Like, so Avengers are inside his universe, but his universe is the same universe that has Logan. So how could Avengers exist in the Logan universe? I don't know. It was confusing about that. Like I was just like, what? Like I'm confused.
Kind of crazy.
Say that again. Sorry.
Okay, so Deadpool's auditioning for the Avengers in the beginning of the movie, and he's in his universe.
No. He's in the sacred timeline.
In the beginning of the movie, When
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah. When he's
auditioning?
when he's with Happy Hogan, it's like the thing says Sacred Timeline.
It
So
does. I
he's
don't remember it
yeah,
saying that at all.
I remember it. Like yeah, I caught that. Like it said Sacred Timeline. Like when he was doing all of his jumping around, it said Sacred Timeline, and then you see Happy Hogan.
But
So
then why was the guy saying like that? Was he saying that the sacred timeline was disappearing? Because he was saying for Deadpool to
no,
give his
so Deadpool's
timeline a quick death.
yeah, no, Deadpool's timeline is like Earth 10006 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's separate from the sacred timeline. So like I think the
Wait, why did he
implication is
jump
that
into? Okay.
the implication is that after the events of Deadpool 2, when he's like jumping around all these different places, he jumps to the
Oh,
sacred timeline and he tries to like join the Avengers and that sacred
okay.
timeline. But then when he gets rejected, he goes back to his own timeline
Okay,
and
that
then
makes more
lives out the
sense.
rest of his life. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
General
Makes more
audiences are gonna love that.
That's very confusing.
But
Yeah,
it's a
and
little
then
confusing. I think maybe you guys might have just missed the whole. They had like a secret timeline like label at that transition,
But
but it
even
might have
now I
been
get
missed.
it.
even with that though, like
Cool.
how is Cable's device able to jump to the sacred timeline and different timelines and stuff and different universes pretty much because
I don't know.
yeah.
Nothing
I
matters is
don't
what
know.
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
learn from this.
Apparently, every sorcerer can also jump between times
That's true. It's
because
true.
we use the whole
Use the thing and then you can go to the.
So I guess Doctor Strange. I don't know what are the implications for Doctor Strange.
Well, to be fair, technically
I-
that kind of at home, right?
yeah, no.
So
that's
technically,
true.
it's
That's
true.
true.
You could go to different universe. So it wasn't. It's completely consistent in some way.
Yes,
Yeah.
the logic in No Way Home is sound. Um, but yeah, it is kind of well, and also
Whoa,
to be fair, is Deadpool because he breaks the fourth wall. Like some people say, like that makes him super powerful. Like he's like omniscient, kind of.
True.
So we
Omniscient,
don't know if he can kind of control things.
Wait. For the No Way Home rings, the sling ring thing, that was still in their own universe when they did it to find Andrew and
I'm talking about
And
how
Andrew.
the other people came from the different.
Toby.
yeah.
I'm talking
Wait,
about how
what?
they all came from the different universes. You remember?
Which one?
I'm
Like
just talking about in
they-
general how the villains and everybody came. Because technically,
Well, that was when Doctor Strange was doing some different spell. That was not
Okay.
the ring.
oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
But they used the ring
So-
to bring the Spider-Man in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think
but they were already
in the
there.
same universe. They're already in his universe at that time. So
Because
you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, because Doctor Strange did a spell earlier that brought people from other universes to that universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Am I
You're right.
changing my whole view of No Way Home right now? I thought that they pulled them out from their own universe.
No,
No.
Scott's right. Scott's right. I'm just remembering it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's
They-
not consistent with
They were
No Way
already
Home.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure this out. I'm sure they'll answer this question at a later time.
I
They
doubt
might
it.
not. They
I mean,
might
this
just-
being said, what
They might just
what do we
kill the whole multiverse thing, which I think might
exactly?
Be a good idea.
So, with everything we just said, like, what do you guys think this means for the legacy of LeBron James and Deadpool and Wolverine and the MCU in
LeBron
general,
James, yeah.
especially with all of the announcements that we've seen so far? Because I know you said we're gonna like go into like some of the announcements too, but what are your thoughts on that and predictions?
Yeah, it's interesting because technically Deadpool is in his own universe right now. There's no catalyst
Yeah.
for, what just happened, them merging with the MCU. So I don't know. That's interesting.
Well, they saw the clip with him and Thor, so something's gonna happen with him and Thor at some point. But
I hope so.
yeah, we're looking forward to it. But I guess this is interesting because like it goes back to what I mean by Deadpool being Marvel's Jesus, in the sense where the whole idea is that Deadpool is supposed to save the Marvel universe. And in some ways, you could technically say in the box office and stuff that this is a good movie. So in some ways, people are intrigued. But on the other hand, this movie kind of felt like the thing that was, like you said, the highlights were the past stuff, the old stuff. So it's like it just kind of reinforces that for Marvel to be relevant, and we're kind of seeing now with the announcement of Tony Stark's of now becoming Doctor Doom. It just seems like
Well,
a
the
lot
actor,
of it.
Robert Downey Jr.
I know,
so-
obviously Robert Downey Jr., but I'm calling him
Actually,
Tony Stark.
We don't know.
Some people
we
have
don't
some
know.
theories. That
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk
might
about that in a separate
say-
thing. We'll talk
Oh,
about
we're
that
gonna
in a
say
Yeah,
separate
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
We'll, okay, we'll talk about separate. My bad. Point is, it kind of reinforces the idea that if Marvel is going to be relevant, it has to use nostalgia bait. That's what I'm seeing.
Hey, took
I
the words
mean,
out of my mouth.
I think that this is a specific film in the in the whole
That's
lore of
fair.
Marvel, right? Like it's a transition character. Like Deadpool was not a Marvel character, like not an MCU character. Sorry, he was not an MCU character, and he's becoming an MCU character, and so he's bringing with it all of the Fox baggage that is there, and so there's a level of like having to acknowledge what has come before and preparation for what's going to come later on. I think that having the cameos and the nostalgia bait in this film specifically, like again, I think it works in a way that it
I
wouldn't
enjoy it.
necessarily work for other characters or other films.
Yeah. I like the
yeah.
way you put that because credit where credit is due. I like how you said it was transitional. Like definitely, like this definitely feels like a transitional film. And if you're gonna like Fox baggage, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
like it's like might as well use someone that can break the fourth wall and speak explicitly on these things and make it a joke because might
Yeah.
as well. So considering that there's all of this going on, like they did the best that they can do, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, overall is a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot, despite like, what we
Despite the criticisms.
Yeah,
And the only reason we criticize stuff is because we want everything to be better all the time because we love these properties. So
yeah, it's just what we feel. But overall, we still enjoyed it.
Of course. Awesome. Well, if you have any thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, definitely let us know in the comment section and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
peace.